of National Intelligence, James Clapper, a little flat-footed, stumping him with a question about that morning's news of arrests of 12 suspected jihadists in Great Britain. Watch.
London. How serious is it? Any implication that it was coming here? Any of the things that they have seen were coming here? Director Clapper.
London?
I was a little surprised you didn't know about London, Director Clapper.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
2 days after the interview, counterterrorism advisor John Brennan admitted that Clapper did not know about the arrest, but he defended him, saying that he's glad that the DNI was not closely following the media's coverage.
I'm glad that Jim Clapper is not sitting in front of the TV 24 hours a day and monitoring what's coming out of the media.
Well, joining us now is Chip Saltzman. He's a former presidential campaign manager for Mike Huckabee, and Mark Sawyer is with us as well, a political science professor at UCLA. Gentlemen, thanks very much for being here. Chip, kind of crazy, right? That the director of national intelligence would not know about this?
Yeah, this is not the conversation that the Obama administration wants to have going into the busiest season for travel that we're getting ready to get into, and it's already started. I mean, look, just last year we had a foiled terrorism attack coming from London. So you would think the director of national intelligence might want to get some intel about what's going on in London, and you could tell he was, completely clueless. And, look, I'm sure he's not watching Fox News 24 hours a day, but he should at least check at the top of the hour for your Fox News alert, because I'm pretty sure you covered it.
I mean, come on. Mark, big deal, Mark, or much ado about nothing?
There's much ado about nothing. What's most important isn't whether intelligence is moving up the chain, but whether it's being horizontally integrated, whether people on the ground that are really doing things to actually stop terrorists are sharing information with one another. That was the breakdown at 9/11. It wasn't the problem of intelligence moving up the chain, but it moving across different agencies.
Well, Chip, Mark is not alone in saying that this is being overblown in some areas and some media organizations, and they say, that this is a man who's got a lot on his plate, and that it's not completely unrealistic to think that some things would just sort of pass by a little below his radar, maybe some lower pay grades before making its way to his desk. What do you think?
But we're talking about London. We're talking about a terrorism attack that was foiled a year ago coming from London. We're talking about the Christmas season, which is the busiest time for travel. This is something that should have been on his radar. You could at least think somebody on staff said, he's going on national television to talk about terrorism and national security. Maybe we should brief him on this. And I think this kind of plays into what the Obama administration is struggling with right now, is kind of weak or at least slow on the war on terror. And I mean, I think it's a bigger political problem. It may be kind of a small isolated event, but I think it's a bigger political problem for the White House and the administration as a whole.
Mark, is it a political problem for the Obama administration? What needs to be done? Does somebody have to answer to this? Maybe one of Director Clapper's aides who should have briefed him? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you guys hit it right on the head. That it's not a substantive issue about the battle on terror, or substantively are they doing the right things in terms of fighting terror. It just looks bad that he hadn't been briefed about the incident, and I'm sure they'll deal with that in terms of what his aides are doing. But you guys are making good sort of political hay out of it, and that's the point that I made, that it's much ado about nothing.
Well, you're helping us with that, Mark, by coming on and talking to us. Let me ask you both. We got about a minute left here. It's been a very active 12 months on the national security anti-terrorism front, beginning last Christmas Day with the underwear bomber, the failed Times Square bombing attempt. We've also heard about the U.S. cargo plane plot that thankfully was also foiled. Chip, let me ask you first, how should Americans feel about our national security heading into the holidays?
Well, you hope and pray that we feel safe and everybody out there is safe, but things like this that happen, it raises a doubt, it raises a question. Yeah, even though it looks to be a political problem, I think it is got some substance problem too. It's the director of national intelligence doesn't know about a major terrorism plot with our #1 ally in Great Britain. It causes concern and pause. And like I said, I think we all hope and pray this is not a partisan issue, that we're safe and that the federal government's doing everything they can to protect us.
Mark, how safe do you feel heading into Christmas?
I feel very safe, and I think we're doing the right things, particularly on the diplomatic front. Look, the best way to beat terrorists is to isolate them and expose them as the cowards that they are.
Mark Sawyer rather, Chip Saltzman. Switch up your names there. Apologize for that. But thank you both for coming in. Merry Christmas to both of you.
Okay,
and your
Merry
families.
Christmas.
See you
Y'all
soon.
have a great Christmas.